Well, good evening, folks. Sandman is back here, and time for another so-called show. I don't know how showy it is, but anyway, I'd like to share a little bit this evening or tomorrow morning, whenever you watch this. But for us baby boomers, at least the older baby boomers in their 70s, and there's some, a little older than that, but most of us are in our 60s and 70s, and I'm not sure where the baby boomer years start, but we grew up in an era I call the good old days. But there's a lot of things we didn't have back then too. But the thing that irritates me the most about life is you have to get a blankety blank permit just about to swallow your food. That's an exaggeration a little bit, but not much. I mean, there were back in the days when they could build a house. They didn't have to have a permit. They just did what they needed to do. That's the way my folks did it. They didn't have to have permits for this and permits for that. But man, during the 60s, things started getting worse and worse and worse. And, you had to learn something. You couldn't just go out and start making money like they did. My wife's uncle, he just started building houses, him and his partner, and it didn't cost a lot because he didn't have to have permits. But later on, he had to start getting permits. In fact, I almost got started by using his permit, and having him kind of overseeing me. But it's just a royal pain, Of course, back then, all we had was typewriters. Make one mistake and you got to type the whole page over, or you get docked for some little eraser mark. Never did make much sense to me. Why they would do that. The contents which should count, not whether you had to retype a word because you hit the wrong key. But anyway, now today, it's just a breeze. And you just type away and then delete it, and it doesn't show. When it's all perfect, then you can go ahead and print it out. Year before last, I built a fence when I first came here, and I was building a solid fence around my perimeters in the back there. And one of the neighbors, and I stop right there, explain how I feel about things. There are policemen that are your friends. And then there are the pigs that give the policeman a bad name. And the same goes for City Hall and all of the rest of them. There are some people that are there to do their job, and they aren't there just for the power. But this young neighbor guy, I thought he was a nice guy until he came over there, got on me about not having a permit for my fence, and he wasn't even tactful. I wanted to tell him, don't you even step a foot on my property ever again. In fact, I let him use my garden space a few years back, so they could grow a garden, and all they did was let weeds grow. I would have been better off to sowed it in the lawn like I did now. But I do not like, I like it when I have caught. One time I got a ticket. Driving truck in the middle of the night, I was coming back and I was tired, half asleep. It was about 1, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was trying to, it was kind of foggy. Anyway, I run the stoplight. in Grants Pass, Oregon. And I just pulled over because I knew he was going to stop me. It was a cop right there. I pulled, that I just ran the stop sign right in front of him. So he pulls up behind me, and I'm on a kind of a slope, and I made sure I had everything done just right, and the blinkers on, and all that kind of stuff. Went to hop out, and the truck's rolling backwards, and I'm getting in there trying to hit everything, and I had forgot to push the air button. Bang! The chip trailer ran right into the front of the cop car. Fortunately, he had a big brush guard, so it didn't do a thing. Just rolled a couple feet into him, and he was the nicest cop I have ever. Well, I've met a lot of nice cops. Met a lot of pigs too. I could tell you some stories about that. But anyway, he says, I'm going to have to give you a ticket, Dave. And I said, well, yeah, what do I expect, So anyway, when I sent in the bail, I put on there that I really appreciated the attitude of the officer that wrote the ticket. I said, he had every right to just chew me out, but he was very nice. And the judge sent me half my bail back. But it just goes to show you, the government, everybody wants complete control of us. More rules and regulations are coming every day. They're passing some more and more laws. Pretty soon they're going to tell you what day you have to go to church on. Well, that's coming. It's in the prophecies even. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about here now. I'm talking about how things are just winding up in this old world. We're just, we live in the best place you could live. USA of America. I am proud to be an American. But even the candidates that we have, we don't have much to choose from anymore, like we used to. Or at least we used to think we did. But, and I don't want to get into politics here, but I actually think the president that we have now is doing a good job. It's just that he is the type that, he has haters. And I never cared for him. I thought he was a smartass. Why? Because he's a lot like me. Anyway, but that's just what's happening today. We're just losing our freedom left and right. It's like my Harley Davidson now that I got. I have to go in and get a license to ride it now. Last time I had a motorcycle in the 60s when I was in the Army, you just got on it and rode. You didn't have to go get a special license. But it's just one thing after another. Especially if you live in a city or a township, there's all kinds of horror stories about what they do to different people. But I just try to get along. I let them know what I think. I let that neighbor guy, used to be my neighbor, know what I thought of him. But anyway, why am I talking about this? Because it's just what is going on in our world. Everybody's agitated. When I left the workforce in 2010, and actually 17 years before that is when I actually left the workforce as far as, because I was in the ministry the last part, and that's a whole different ball game. But there's politics there too. Very frustrating. No matter where you go, there's politics. and greed. But, it's just like in my business. They have to have policies. I like the policies they have in the Super Affiliate Network because they want things above board. They want things to be truthful. They want everything done so that it makes a good name. I'll give them a shout out. I'm the Super Affiliate Maniac Network man. Always will be. Haven't really made much yet. But I left the message with the lady today, and tomorrow I'll probably hear when she's going to help me get going again. I got to start listening to some training videos again so that when we talk, it's all kind of fuzzy in the back of my head right now with the things that I had learned about it and then didn't operate. You got to keep things going and current in your mind. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I've already rattled on here 11 minutes and 25 seconds. So I'm going to say good night. And don't forget to click the button and find your way to financial freedom. It's there, folks. The longer you wait, the longer you're going to be tied down with your financial hassles. And the longer I wait, I'm already months and months past where I should have been. I should be just floating along now. Nobody to blame but me, because I'm watching it work for the people that do it. And I've found a way to do it, and I'm going to do it. So good night, folks. Sleep tight, and I hope you have a very good Thursday. And a good night's rest tonight. Some of you are already sleeping. I should be. It's 10 minutes after 12. Excuse me. But I have a habit of going to bed late. Good night. Click the button.